che America del Sud piace molto l'automobilismo.
Most people, in fact the whole of South America, is in love with motorsport, and therefore many young men today attempt to enter into motorsport and to race. Today they have go-karts to begin the first rung of the ladder into top motorsport with. In my day, of course, go-karts didn't exist. But really, I had a tremendous love of the mechanics, the engine, the chassis, the motor car. And it was a love that started when I was extremely young. And it was that which, because as I gathered knowledge about the motor car, I became more and more in love with the motor car. And it was that which drew me closer and closer to motor racing. But I've always been a mechanic, and when I came to Europe to compete in Grand Prix for the first time, in the first year, I was a mechanic for my team. Later, of course, when I drove for teams which were very important, like Alfa Romeo, Maserati, so forth, Mercedes-Benz, they had, of course, their own brilliant mechanics. I didn't have to do it, but in the first year I did. I love mechanics.
He had great stamina, so whatever he did, whatever lap time he could post, he could do it once, twice, 3, 4, do it for 3 hours, which the races were in those days. He had tremendous ability to balance the motor car, to the judgment that he would work with. Perhaps I can best explain. I saw Ascari, who was, I think, one of the greats as well, at Bari. He came around this corner in a real power slide, and he just touched the straw bale and went on, and every lap he was doing this. Fangio came round in the same race, same sort of speed, same sort of power, but he didn't touch the straw, but he just flicked the straws. And to me, that just showed me the difference between just nudging it, I don't mean badly, just nudging it or just whispering it. And the skill that Fangio would drive, or the precision, was, I think, what set him apart. That, together with all the other things that go to make a great driver, I mean, obviously concentration and so on, but he was quite an exceptional driver.
Seoul, Taipei, London, everything is going very well.
Do you still watch Formula One regularly on TV when you have a chance?
Yes, in television, or as I said today here.
And if it was 10 years earlier, would you like to have had a go at Senna, because nobody else seems to be able to beat him?
I don't think it's clever to have a go at Senna, because in the moment there's nobody who can give him a go. And again here, I think he's right under control of everything.
What brings you to Imola?
Formula One brings me always to the Grand Prix. This is the first one I visit this year, and obviously it's great to see all the development and all the old friends.
And how do you like sports cars? You had a pretty good start to the season.
Well, we've only done one race, which was obviously far away from home, so I think that the atmosphere in Monza will be quite different, and to get into the European season is going to tell the real character of the sports car racing. But I like to be driving again, yes, a lot.
2 young Finnish drivers have particular promise. Mika Häkkinen is one of them. Tell us a little bit about Häkkinen.
I think I can say honestly I'm as surprised as everybody else, because I mean I obviously knew and believed that he was and is very good, but he seems to have taken the Formula One world by storm, you know, and he's doing very well. But we still have to remember it's a young driver in making. It's going to take a while until he's ready for the big ones.
What about JJ Leto?
I think JJ's done nearly a complete season with Onyx before. He's a little bit more knowledgeable already about Grand Prix racing. He's in a very good team at the moment. I think Scuderia has an excellent car, and just hope that he starts finishing races and gets the results he deserves.
Right now it looks like McLaren and Senna are unbeatable. Are they unbeatable?
Formula One, nobody's ever unbeatable, you know, and a dominance only takes a while. But Senna is very professional. He sets the measure for the others, and they've got to do better.
Two-time world champion Emerson Fittipaldi was obviously pleased to see some old friends. Cesare Fiorio, Nelson Piquet, and of course Ayrton Senna.
Well, I'm very pleased, very happy, to see all my friends. I think it's great, I have a good feeling, and so nice to see people that I work together, race against, and it's a beautiful feeling.
Watching you come up through the crowds down there, it's obvious that Formula One hasn't forgotten you. Do you still remember your days here?
Oh, I mean, I think we always have great memories from Formula One. I always try to remember the good times I had in Formula One. Like any any sport, you never try to remember the bad times. And I had great times. And in Italy, is an important place for me. It was the first time, my first World Championship I won here in Italy. I mean, it has always bring nice memories to be back here.
Alberto Tomba came along to wish some of his friends good luck.
Time, and I tried to enjoy some of the rain we had after the race, but basically the good weather that we have in this time of the year, and just stay away from the racing car as long as I could, as one of my last opportunities in this season, and then come to Europe for some testing, getting everything prepared for the race in Imola and also for the next few races.
Alessandro Nannini was a welcome addition in the Benetton motorhome. The hand that was reattached off his helicopter accident last year is improving all the time, and Sandro seemed in great spirits.
How are things for you physically right now?
It's not okay for the moment. Still a problem, and but I make a lot of jogging, a lot of gymnastics in the arm, and I hope it should be better in the next 3, 4, 5 months. But it's very long because we must wait the nerve. The growth of the nerve is very slowly.
But there is improvement all the time, so that's an encouraging sign.
No, but the movement, I have all the movement in the arm, and but it's too short because I have still a little problem on the muscles of the arm, and but it's nearly good. It's not bad. We must check in the next 2, 3 months where we are.
Benetton have been very supportive for you. They've helped you out and stood behind you.
Yes, but no, it's not a problem for Benetton. No, I have friends in Benetton. I know the boss of Benetton. I had every time a good relation with Benetton. And the problem is not with Benetton, the problem is my problem. It's not supported from the people because I like, okay, but this is my problem. I must to put power, you understand? I must to give 100%, but from me.
I understand also that you've been driving your own car. It's been nice?
It should be nice in the future. For the moment, I can drive just the normal car, the car of my wife, and I think next week, on the next 10 days, we'll be ready a new car. And I can drive. I have more free time for go around around Italy. I travel.
What do you think of John Barnard's new car?
John Barnard's new car is very nice because I saw the wing last week, and it was very nice. And I knew the problem is not from the new car, but from the gearbox. They have still a little problem, and when they resolve this problem, I think in the next 2 races, in 1 month, they resolve the problem. Should be arrive a very good car, and I think they can fight with McLaren, with Williams and Ferrari.
Benetton were not the only team to unveil a new car at Imola. Footwork were hoping that this new Alan Jenkins designed car with a high nose and Porsche power would be ready and able to make a good showing for the San Marino Grand Prix. However, a shunt in testing saw Michele Alboreto hurt and Alex Caffi using the single new design left.
Michele, we've seen you limping around the paddock. You're obviously in pain still.
Maybe because I'm getting old. Quite painful at the moment, but I am happy to be here anyway, even because I must use the old car. But I think every lap that we made with this Porsche engine can improve our performance, so I think I'm here for make my job.
Will you be driving in the race, do you think?
Yes, I would like, but I don't think it's possible to qualify the old car. And unfortunately, we have only one new car, so we try to qualify that one. And Alex is in a better condition, so he's right, and he drives the new car.
How is the new car? Is it a big improvement?
I think so, and the biggest problem at the moment is that we have no time to testing the new car properly. We hope between here and Monaco to do the right job to have a competitive car.
Brabham hoped to get back among the front runners and have made a positive step forward with this Sergio Rinland designed car.
Well, I'm just hoping that it will be all right. We've got a lot to learn about this car because it's completely new and done in a completely new system as well, and a new philosophy of setting the car up and everything else. So we done few laps in Monza last week. We learned a lot. There's a lot of development to do, and we just have to carry on working.
announced a major new sponsorship deal with Japanese film giants Fuji. Eddie Jordan has made quite an impression, both on and off the circuit, in his first season in Formula One.
Well, thank you for saying so, but obviously it's been incredibly difficult. It's not the most conducive climate for the economical well-being of companies and corporate companies at the moment, but we've tried a different strategy in terms of a marketing aspect, not just the commercial aspect on the racetrack and all the good benefits that it entails, but we've tried to combine that and the strict marketing sense, in other words, uniting good corporate companies with different promotional aspects, and that's the way we've tried to program the whole future of what we're trying to do.
With the fastest times in testing. But in Phoenix and Brazil, the potential the cars had shown in testing just wasn't evident. And there are many with their own opinions on why.
And I think Prost and Alesi is the most responsible from because they test all the winter time, make 1,000 miles. And they say, okay, the car is very competitive in January. Prost told everyone the car is competitive. So today is back to the competitive like in the end of the last season. So that means there was some mistake in the technical setup of the car.
The team does tend to get into disarray when there's political pressure, and there's a lot of pressure on Ferrari at the moment. And certainly when a team's in disarray, then it's hard going for the driver, because he's trying to pull people together, or that's what, you know, if things aren't right, and that's what is very much the driver's job out of the car, is to try, you know, when things aren't right, the teams try and put it together, and Ferrari are very difficult. You know, it's a real swimming against the tide operation, especially when they're in disarray.
Cesare Fiorio, a man under pressure at Imola.
A great performance in pre-qualifying from the Ford engine car. Also, JJ Leto on the pace after earlier problems in the Dallara with the V10 Judd. Second and third place, Belgian Bertrand Gachot in another of Eddie Jordan's cars. Whilst the 7-Up Jordan team were expected to qualify, another Belgian was celebrating just next door. Eric van der Poel in the Modena Lamborghini engine team made the cut, was hoping to start his first Grand Prix. But poor Emanuele Pirro failed to qualify in the Scuderia Italia Judd engine car after problems for him. But greater problems for Olivier Groyard as he bounced over the curbs and lost his nose cone in the new Fonmetal F1 Spa. Nicola Larini also had problems in the second of the Modena Lamborghini engine cars and failed to make the cut. Pedro Chaves, the Portuguese, spun away his chances yet again and failed to make the grade after pre-qualifying. This is how Ferrari started their weekend, badly. Frenchman Alain Prost spun off in the Friday morning practice session and Ferrari were under extreme pressure. Alain Prost got going again, but further problems were to come his way. Engine problems later on in the same practice session, and the diminutive French driver, embarrassed to say the least, had to leave his Ferrari, make a quick dash across the track and get back to his pit as quickly as possible to try and get the spare car. Meantime, Ferrari's problems continued as Frenchman Jean Alesi came back into the pits with smoke starting to come out of the top of his engine cover, indicating another blown engine for Ferrari. Fabrizio Barbazza, the new boy, and shot across the chicane at the Acqua Minerale. Ayrton Senna put it all into perspective by simply going out and setting a time 2 seconds below his qualifying lap record from 1990, leaving Alain Prost to explain Ferrari's lack of form.
To be honest, today we had some problems. I mean, not performance problem, but it's difficult to know what's going on Saturday and then Sunday morning. we have done a lot of tests here, so we know more or less that the car, even with fuel, is working well, and we should not have a surprise on this level. In terms of reliability, we must see and work again, because we don't have a big problem, but we have small problems, and that's I would say normal, because we have done a lot of work in the last months, and we must pay for it a little bit. Even if I suppose that this day, I mean today, should be the
This caused a great rift between the two drivers, one that was never settled as Villeneuve died in practice for the next race in Zolder. Imola was Gilles' last race. Patrick Tambay replaced Villeneuve at Ferrari and in 1983 won his first race with the famous team.
Well, I could tell you a lot about that race. It's probably one of the most important for me. Obviously, I was driving the car number 27. The year after, Villeneuve and Pironi had a tremendous battle here for the win. And 2 weeks later, Gilles Villeneuve died. And I replaced him in that car, and for some unknown reason, there was kind of a magical feeling between the Tifosi and me. And I qualified on the spot in third place. It's the same spot as where Prost is actually qualified for Sunday's race. Qualified in first place, and on the spot where the car were positioned, there's still today a Canadian flag. And it was a long race, a little bit of engine problems toward the end. Ricardo Patrese came and overtook me, and as soon as he overpassed me, he went off the track, and I finished, took the checkered flag, and as soon as I did that, my engine died at the Aqua Mineral, and I stopped on the track. And it was a riot with the Tifosi, and a very special feeling, a very interesting one.
Ferrari is still in your heart?
I think for any Ferrari drivers, once you've driven for them, it's probably one of the strongest memories that remains. I think even now, Ayrton Senna driving for McLaren, wins after wins, championship after championship, one day will probably become a Ferrari driver, and he probably will have very, very strong memories of that time, even having very successful past with McLarens.
In 1985, Alain Prost took the checkered flag with McLaren, but was later disqualified as it was determined that his car was 2 kilos underweight. Elio De Angelis in the Lotus was thereby given the win. The following year, Prost won again, coasting to a stop after crossing the finish line, his petrol completely exhausted. Quite a relief for Ron Dennis. In 1989, Gerhard Berger hit the wall at 160 miles an hour and had his car burst into flames. A horrifying crash, but Berger was back after missing only the next race. McLaren's good fortunes continued at Imola as Ayrton Senna took the victory, with Prost second and Alessandro Nannini third. Last year, Riccardo Patrese made the home fans forget about Ferrari by taking only his third win in 195 starts. A very popular win for Grand Prix racing's most experienced driver. But one thing most drivers share in common is an aversion to driving when the track is extremely wet. On Saturday, the rains came, and the teams realised Friday's times would now hold up for starting positions for Sunday's race. But it could be a wet race, so the teams took the chance to set up their cars for the conditions. Jean Alesi in the second of the Ferraris was trying as hard as ever, and just look at that twitch he got involved with through Villeneuve going into Tosa, and he was still having dire handling problems on a dire Ferrari weekend, hanging out the tail, desperately trying to improve the times, and he had second fastest overall in the wet. But the man coming up behind him there, Gerhard Berger, desperate to challenge Ayrton Senna, was the quickest. Could have been because of his grass-cutting exercises. But all the drivers face conditions like these. Roberto Moreno in the new Benetton Ford B191, visibility almost down to zero, only for the brave.
Running of the San Marino Grand Prix. We'll be back with the story of the race right after the break.
Race day, and 200,000 people jam the Autodromo Enzo and Dino Ferrari. Red is the predominant colour among the fans here, although Ferrari is not in fact the local team. Foggy but poor performances at Silverstone and Adelaide was taking extra precautions.
The World Championship makes its European debut here on the superb Imola circuit for the San Marino Grand Prix. And in a situation where every World Championship point counts this season, the reigning champion Ayrton Senna starts at Imola with a commanding lead of 11 points, having won at Phoenix and Interlagos in the brand new McLaren with its equally new Honda V12 engine.
Our car this year is a lot better than our previous car, the V10 from 1990. The engineers, technicians made some radical changes on the car concept, which were fundamental for solving some of the critical problems we had with our previous car. We had this feeling immediately when we first tested the car in Portugal before Phoenix, and it proved to be correct that the car is a lot better than a year ago.
But Britain's hope for the #1 spot, Nigel Mansell, has yet to score after retiring from the first two races. He's been having an exciting time during practice at Imola, but he's happy to be back with the Williams team.
I don't have to worry about anything now, Murray. I mean, it's so different. I mean, even the relationship with Ricardo, it's no problem if he's quicker or he beats me or whatever, because, you know, I know how quick I can go, and I'm pretty sure the team do as well. What we've got to do is work together to get the best package together, and then when my reliability comes, or we have our little turn of luck, shall we say, I mean, we'll fly.
It may be the San Marino Grand Prix, but Imola is in Italy, and Italy means Ferrari. Ferrari means Alain Prost in his second year with the Maranello team, who disappointed their fans with a poor performance in Brazil. But since then, they've made major changes, and Prost is much happier with the revised car. Benetton have got an entirely new car, designed by John Barnard, with a more powerful revised Ford V8 engine for 3 times world champion Brazilian Nelson Piquet and his countryman Roberto Moreno. And one of the prettiest cars at Imola is the all-new Brabham Yamaha. But the two Britons, Martin Brundle and Mark Blundell, have still got a lot of work to do. And there's great news from Norfolk, where Martin Donnelly, recovering well from his crash last year, has married his childhood sweetheart, Louise McQuirter, and hopes to race again soon. As ever, it's all go in the pit lane at Imola, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to a Formula One team than you'd think. Jonathan Palmer.
This is one of the 2 Tyrrell cars that are being raced this season. Let's consider just how many people it takes to put them on the grid. Well, clearly, there are the drivers, Stefano Modena and Satoru Nakajima, who started the year so well with 4th and 5th places at Phoenix. None was more delighted than team founder Ken Tyrrell, who masterminded 3 World Championship victories for Jackie Stewart. Now it's his son Bob who's taken over as managing director. Racing teams are all about engineering, and this area is headed by Harvey Postlethwaite, the engineering director who oversees the 8 designers who are continually working on the next new car. Its shape is formed by the 2 model makers prior to extensive wind tunnel evolution by 4 aerodynamicists. Manufacture then commences with 15 in the composites department, another 6 in the machine shop, and 4 fabricators, largely just making the suspension. Complex wiring demands 2 electricians. The gearbox is assembled by 3 more specialist mechanics, and the engine is prepared by Honda technicians both here and in Japan. final assembly of all the components is handled by a team of 5 more mechanics. Now the completed cars must be transported around the world, and the 3 transporters are manned by 5 truckies. Testing begins with 3 dedicated test team mechanics. Meanwhile, 3 in the marketing department are finalising and supporting the sponsor lineup, whose budget is managed by 4 accountants. Administrative and other staff comprise another 10 or so people. And finally, the bit you see, the cars running at a Grand Prix weekend, can be considered. Here, the 2 race engineers establish just what work the 12 race mechanics must do, and it is the team manager who controls this tip of the iceberg. So there we are, over 100 hard-working individuals, all to enable these 2 to go motor racing.